Hey, a little bit more somber Grego here. Let's talk. We need to have this talk. We've got a situation. Just ignore the clickbait style headline of this video. Van Zelst Restorations is not going anywhere. We've worked too hard to build it up, and we're not going to throw it all away despite certain struggles. So I just wanted a frank and honest discussion. It's not a discussion when it's only me talking to the camera. But yeah, Andrew and I have spoken about this, and my wife, of course, Linda, because things cannot continue on as they have been. So we need to make a few changes in the business. So I thought we'd talk about that. I thought we would cover, the future. So we've always been, since we started, strive to have that good relationship with customers. Like, we are people after all, and we are equally as passionate about their cars usually as what they are. And I need that passion. I want them to be excited about their car and the work going on with it. But what's been happening is I've been giving people basically, quotes, not hard prices, but prices we've tried our best to stick to. And what's happening is we've realised that's not always ideal. Everything takes so much time. Time is our enemy. We've got cars that are here that have been painted for quite a long time, and we're just struggling to get them delivered. Because we sort of crack on with the next lot that comes. The amount of work we have is endless. There's two of us, and one thing that happens is you've got to be organised for parts and paint and everything from nuts and bolts to dealing with the sandblasting and trimming and other things because a lot of people want us to do the full drive-in, drive-out experience, which I was sort of told by a few people at the start. Look, that's a difficult one. If you just specialise in rust repairs and paint, then it's going to be a lot easier. And it's so true. Like, if that's all we did, is we'll fix the rust in your car and we'll paint it, and then after that it's all up to you. So when I punch out a figure of say $20,000 to do a full restoration on a combi, it's like it's a game of hit and miss. And what you do when you psychologically, for us, when you put a number on a car and then you get through all the work, and people should know how much work is in these things, hundreds and hundreds of hours. And the problem is that you see that the meter ticking over, the dollar meter, what customers are spending, purely because it's time and materials. And then you sort of get close to the amount that you originally sort of said to them, and then you start to do 3 hours. And this is the part that we have to change, we have to stop, is not... the thing is, if I've given you a sort of a price to do your car, we might come within that price still, because if your car's a good one. But if your car turns out to be a lot nastier than, what anyone expected, it's just the luck of the draw. There's nothing, whereas before, while we have been wearing a lot of hours and time, you get to the stage where you're sort of getting to the maximum of what the initial quote was, and then you just get the job done. You try and get the job done knowing that you're not actually getting paid for all that, and that's the part we're trying to change. Sorry, it's quite windy outside. I hope you can hear me okay. That's the part we've got to change with, and every time I've got to take a call and go to the computer and order parts and take that time to document what we've got parts wise and what we need, and order and couriers and all the rest. That's 50% of our workforce down doing that, which is not seen or whatever. So that also has to change as well. So if I'm working on a car and I've got to stop and order stuff for it, then that time will have to be counted as well, because we're not going forwards. So and you know, I've always charged parts out to customers. I know I'm the only one doing this and not adding any cream on the top. Maybe I should, because that would cover the time then for that you spend on the phone trying to get the best deal for the customer. So we're, and you know, even taking a car to the sandblaster or to the trimmer, and we tow it there ourselves, and you know, it means that two people are stopping work and they're loading it up, and they're usually pulling stuff off, and we help the sandblaster get the car set up. And my sandblaster is 5 minutes down the road, but you end up losing an hour through loading, preparation, and helping down at that end, and then come back, and you know, and then you usually leave the trailer on the car and go back in the following day or a couple of days whenever he's finished. So like everything like that now will have to be counted, and if I need some hardware for the car, some simple bolts that we just don't have that need replacing, and I have to drive into town and get the bolts, then that will also, it just has to be. So I end up doing you know, 4 hours of physical work that you can see on the car, and you've lost close to a day, you know. So it's just, that is the way it is. So so for all my customers that have got jobs booked in next year, yeah, if you want to contact me if you have any concerns. But my concern is that we need to make the business work financially, because we love doing it. We love working with people. We love all the people that in my circle, you know, my trimmer and sandblaster and auto electrician and windscreen guy and all that. You know, I've got a great circle of people there to do jobs, to help with the jobs, so that we can offer the complete service. But the trouble is that just that the time factor that we put into the cars. We just need to be paid for the time. I'm not even talking about a little cream profit on the top. I'm just happy with our hourly rate is lower than most. We do have lower overheads, but nothing's free. We're still paying rent. We're still paying mortgages. We're still, you know, everyone's got loans and whatever else, credit cards and stuff to deal with. Yeah, we just want to get ahead with the business, and it's not about it's not about even making a roaring profit. It's just about making a living, right? So that's how I've always wanted to be. Like I don't want to build this into some super thing where you only deal with, you know, well-off clients and all the rest. I'm a man of the people. I know what it's like to struggle, and I like to help people. I'm all for people having a crack at doing work themselves, hence why we do the videos. But it's time to be honest with ourselves and say, right, you know, can we be nice guys, doing the right thing by the vehicle, and just make a living from that without, you know, and obviously the numbers don't add up with the quotes that we've been giving, whether it's, you know, $15,000 or $20,000 for a complete restoration. it's not adding up. It's more than that. So I've had a couple of customers that have, you know, paid us as we're gone and got extra work done and got custom stuff done and added to this and added to that, and it ends up, you know, a lot more than the initial. And so if people are envisaging they're getting all this, a fully done car for their price, and there shouldn't be any extras other than your separate costs like the trimming and whatever, it just can't be, you know. So you know, it's a bit ridiculous, but you know, to be honest, if someone comes in for a closed door respray for a few grand, we make more money from that than any of the resto work, and that's unfortunate, because we don't want to be just doing cheap resprays. So the point is that yeah, we're you know, I have the habit of taking on too much at a time, and sometimes it's counterproductive because all the jobs drag on. So we're going to change, or attempt to change, how we do it next year. And we're basically going to we'll take your project. Well, I've already got plenty of projects here to finish, but the point is we're going to do solid week blocks. We've been doing 2 days on that car and 1 day on that car, and then another 2 days or 1.5 days on that car, and then and it's too disjointing, so it puts you out of the rhythm on the car. So if we do a solid week, so that at the start of that week Andrew knows he's going to be welding on that one car for the week, without moving cars in and out. Yeah, so that's what will be happening. I'll just cut you off for 1 sec. All right, we're back. Just had a visitor. One of Andrew's mates, old school mates, he farms, and got some Russian garlic. So it's a new breed that they're trying. Look at the size of those cloves. Anyway, this video, I know I'm like, can get scatterbrained on my videos and all over the place, and as Andrew said, you always go on these tangents. Well, I'm trying not to on this one, right? So that's my tangent. Bit of garlic talk. So where were we? Yeah, sorry, I've just had a conversation with Brenton and just trying to get back on track. So yeah, support Aussie farmers, why don't you? So try and buy direct from the farmer. That's even better. I know it's hard when you live in the city, but yeah, come out this way and there's roadside stalls and all the fresh stuff. It's good. So yeah, so basically ordering hours, like ordering stuff and taking the car to wherever, and just any time it just has to be charged out to the car. I've spoken to several other people in business, a similar style of business, and they're like, you have to be doing charge. Like, you can give a quote as a guide only, but it's strictly a guide. Because what's happening is, you know, obviously given quotes that are, I've heard some interesting reports from the opposition. I don't even call them opposition really. Other people in the same game as this, and the prices are generally double to triple of what we're charging. Hence why we've probably got too many cars coming, and you know, we're not really making enough from that. So it's like, yeah, I just want to nip it in the bud this year so that we are focused and yeah, just getting ourselves a bit more comfortable and less stressed. So, you know, I'd love to be able to work 5 days on a customer's car and that be enough, made enough in the week that's all cool, and not have to do 6 or 7 days. Yeah, so that might mean, well, it does mean patience from the customer. And I'm just looking at the Beetles now, and the ladies that own those Beetles, and Frank with his Splitty there, and Dave and Megan with their gear, and it's just like, more patient people, you probably never find them. So like, I appreciate the patience while we get ourselves organised. But you know, again, it comes down to, you know, we've set an amount so people go, right, this is how much I'm going to spend on that part of what you do. You get towards the end of that money, and then you don't start sending invoices for time you spend on the car. You might have spent, and then you sort of say, well, we'll go and work on something that can bring some money in, that's like obviously got a higher amount of dollars on it, because I've steadily been increasing the prices from when we started. You got no idea what we used to do when we started, like a full restoration for $10,000. Yeah. That gets you kick-started all right, but I mean, it's ridiculous in a way. You just shoot yourself in the foot. But I feel like people know what they're getting when they're working with us. You know, we try to be as honest as possible. You can see how we repair things. You know, and the people that are, what we're finding is we're getting jobs done elsewhere that are not cheap jobs, and they need him repair, and I'm like, you know, Andrew and I will look at each other and go, well, we're doing a job that's better, especially underneath the paint. Forget shiny paint. That's anyone can do that. It's what's underneath that counts. And what we're finding is that we're seeing some shoddy work from other operators, and we've been asked to fix it, and then you just sort of like, yeah, fair enough, we're getting paid to fix this stuff, but it shouldn't be happening. That's what we're getting at. It's just, if you get in a cheap job, then yeah, you expect stuff to not last very long, and you just ride it along. But if you're shelling out big dollars, like what's big dollars anyway? You know, if you're paying over $30,000 for the bodywork, like rust repairs, bodywork and paint, then you should be getting a pretty good job. And if you're shelling out 50 or 60, then you should be getting an absolute mint job, you know. But it's all relative, I suppose, because every car we get in is different. It's very difficult to go, oh, this is a combi, it's going to be $30,000, going to have everything done, because some cars come in here and they've like OG paint still on them, and they've got 2 spots of rust on the whole car, and you know it's going to be an okay job to just get through it. But the next one comes in that's got reasonably sound paint on it, and then you get it sandblasted, and it's every single panel needs work on it. It needs welding, and you just get to the point where, you know, I used to sort of charge a price to do bodywork and paint, and then the rust repairs are on top of that. But even that base price was too low. So yeah, I'm sure I'll get a few future customers that are watching this, and you're concerned because your car's booked in, and you know I've given you a price as such. This is where the trust game comes in. You have to trust us that we're doing the right thing and not ripping you off, and that's the same with everywhere you go with your mechanic or any other shop. There's a certain amount of trust there that they're doing the right thing. So we hang on, I'll just get this. Why do you always do this to me? I'm making the video. What do you need? Everyone can enjoy the conversation. Yeah, what? What?
Not really. No, I just think some,
Oh. It shouldn't be. You'd be right. Okay. Alright, just give me a call back if you're in trouble. Bye. So there's bloody tinfoil hat Andrew talking about, he said the cops are sort of following him, and it's like, pretty sure the rego's paid. pretty sure you've renewed your license and everything else like that. So who knows? They will pull him up if they feel like pulling him up. Now, no more. Just get back on track. So I just want people to know that we'll always do the right thing by the car, and what's happening is I'll always do the right thing by the car, but the customer ends up, I'm not going to say winning, that's a stupid term, it's just like we take the hit because I'd rather not do anything dodgy, so we end up losing on that, whereas we need to be like, okay, there's definitely going to be more hours, more time needed to do this, to have this car coming out nice, and yes, it was more than what we expected at the start. So anyway, say I've given you a number to do your car next year, customers, future customers that are booked in next year. We will endeavour to do what we do, and do it properly, the repairs, and we might get all the way, we might get to a point where you've got the rust repairs done and the body work and the paint, you've got that, and that's where the money, the figure of giving you, whether it's 20 grand, 25 grand, whatever it costs for a full jobby, we might get to that point where you've got body work, paint done, everything's right, but now it needs assembly, and that the initial figure has covered the basics but not the assembly to get it back on the road, and it takes time to put a car back together. It takes weeks, and whereas we've been often not charging for those weeks to put a car back together, or the car, it drags out and you go and work on something else. So we need to get this organised so that the customer gets the car they need and we just are getting paid for it. So if you are booked in and your budget that I've mentioned to you is like super strict, then we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it and say, look, we could come really close to getting the car done, but you might have to find. And it's hard. Interest rates going up and all the rest, and like spare money is a bit harder to find now than what it was a year ago. It's just you might have to find that extra 3k, 5k, whatever it takes to get the car buttoned up, done, so that you can start driving it again. So that's where I'm at. That's just being straight up and honest with you. We're not out to make a killing and make some sort of super empire. Although I was thinking of, I got asked once, have you got t-shirts, any merch? And I've been thinking about it. So yeah, that's if you wanted to. But mind you, you go and get a batch of t-shirts done or something, and it costs you a certain amount. So if you sell your t-shirts for $25, you're not actually making anything on it. So yeah, we'll worry about that. So not an issue for us now. We just want the cars delivered to the customer for an honest price, and that's where we're at. So profit, as in cream, is just it hasn't even entered the equation, because I just need to be able to. We need to be able to pay our way and actually have a semi-resemblance of it, because we work hard. We should have some benefit to that, So yeah, despite the title on this video, no, we're not going anywhere, and we're looking forward to, well, not only delivering the cars we have here now, but to sink our teeth into some new ones next year. Yeah, we're excited we're hoping to do some more of the ladies weekends. They're always fun. We're hoping to do, be involved a bit with our Club VW show up at Crow's Nest in March. So I might do the trophies again or something for that this year. Everyone seemed to got a good response to that. I'd love to be in a comfortable enough position, hear me out here, that in a couple of years we build a car to give away at the show. How cool would that be? I know it happens on some of the bigger shows and whatever, and I'd love to get an old Beetle and fix it up so that it was a nice little runner and give it away with Rego and everything at a show. I'd love to do that. So, but you just can't do that when you're just struggling. So basically, let's not forget the price of everything has gone up. Then there was the great bog shortage of bloody 2020, 2022, whatever year it is. The parts in general harder to get, as in you've got to shop at multiple shops to get what you need for a project. Shipping is just can take forever sometimes. So we've got great suppliers, that look after us. But the point is that, even for me to drive to Toowoomba to pick up the paint for a customer's car, it's at least an hour gone. And whereas, I've never charged that out to anything. So you end up, if you're doing a bit of running around picking up stuff for the car, you end up only doing 2 or 3 hours of chargeable labour on the car. Well, that sort of has to stop now. So just getting, organised so that the customer knows what's going on. So, like I've tried, we show everything that we do here. We do, especially if you're on Facebook. This video is going to YouTube, but I mean, on Facebook you've got. You can see how we do all the repairs and the time that we spend on the cars, and not a lot of cars come out of here that are like show style cars. They're most of them are honest drivers, so not perfect but good where they need to be good. So there's no point in having 9 out of 10 paint job if it's bogged up over rust, etc. So so we'd work the other way. So I'm a firm believer that I think things will continue for us. It just seems to be not an endless supply of cars, but there's just enough people wanting to do old cars that, and not just Volkswagens. For that, we've got some other stuff booked in for next year. But I'm excited for Van Zelst restorations in general, because it just feels like we've hit this wall that we need to bust through. So, as I've always said, we are capable of matching anyone out there, I mean anyone, for a quality job. But, we're not going to do a $150,000 job for $25,000. So this is where I'm at. Okay, so we can do whatever job you like, but you have to be realistic with the budget. So we've forever, you get a bit of money and you buy some more tools. We've still got more to get. There's always something that you want to buy to improve how you work, your system, so we're keen on getting more gear that we would like to get. So if it can make the job easier for us and quicker, that benefits the customer as well if it's done quicker, and a better job, whatever. So so we're always investing in toolage. we started this business 4 years ago with absolutely nothing. So we've built it up so that we've got the essentials plus a few nice handy tools to have. But there's always more, you know. So the metalworking side of it, I can just tell that Andrew thrives on that. So like custom making metal stuff with the gear we've got, you know, he's got enough there to make a lot of things. But there's always more, isn't there? Tools are one of those things. So yeah, so we're going to keep going. We're going to keep making the videos for YouTube and all the other socials, and we just hope to basically, you know, that we have that outcome of like we've made enough and the customer's happy with what they've paid. Unfortunately, the numbers that I've been saying to people, you know, it's just we end up losing, and it's just not fair. So basically, I'm not having a whinge or a bitch because I'm not that sort of person. I believe in being positive, but you also have to be realistic. I've had a few slaps in the head by people saying, "What are you doing, man? You should be comfortable after 5 days a week. We've seen how you work. You know, this is usually people that have worked with us, and they're a bit shocked when they find out that you're just struggling a bit. So they, yeah. So that's reality. Just putting it out there to YouTube world. I don't care who's watching this, whether it's people in the same game as me. If you're starting out, don't. You know, I've been told many times, but it's like I just, you know, sometimes you have self-doubt, and you don't. You got to value your time. Your time is precious. You know. God, if I cark it next year, you can imagine the shit hitting the fan then. So I'll be like, oh, we only just made the business a nice little thing, and here I am. So you don't know when your time is up, and thank Christ, my wife Linda does look after me. That you know, I'm health-wise, I'm doing okay. Now that my hernia's been operated on, I'm you know, better than ever, really. So other than a bit of dental work we've got to get to down the track. Anyone notice that dentists are expensive? That's right. So that it becomes less of a priority. You try and pay your bills first. So. Yeah, so I just wanted to have an honest discussion with y'all, and I don't want to, you know, as a few people have told me, you're in business to make money, not friends. That's it's sort of true, but it also rubs me up the wrong way, because I love all my customers. I love seeing them down the track and interacting with them, and you know, you go to a show and you see one of your cars there, and you sort of, you know, you just can be proud of the work you've done on it. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Oh, hello Andrew, your ears must have been burning. Yeah, so look what I got the stuff.
Oh, Brenton.
Yeah, Brendan's been in. So that's, you've got the gif of it. Linda always gets up at me if I wave my arms around during a discussion, so I hope I haven't been doing that too much. I've just been like, yes. So I think I've covered everything, and yeah, I didn't want this to be it's definitely not it's not a woe is me, it's not a pity video, it's not a charity video, it's nothing like that. It's just explaining a few changes that we need to do next year. So Andrew's cracking an ale. Let me have a look at the time. 4:30 on a Friday afternoon. Is that acceptable to be having a beer? New Year's Eve, baby. Of course it is. So yeah, no, there'll be a different sort of focus focus next year. I think doing the week blocks on the cars will really help, and people will know that, all right, next week mine will be worked on, and then another one will be, and then, because we've got a lot in the mix, we've got to get through Sadie and the T3, Mary Jo, the Commodore, Karma, Keen, that's rust repairs almost finished on that. So 1 week block on Karma, we'll have it ready to paint. See, that's what I mean. You just, if you do the focus it in a certain way, then that's going to work. And that's great if you've got a giant shed and 6 workers. They don't have to worry about the day-to-day stuff. They just show up and work non-stop on a car till it's finished. We don't have that luxury because, like I said, when I doing the admin side of the business, 50% of our workforce is down, and that's just the reality of it. So until I'm just waiting for my granddaughter Aurelia to be old enough to join the family business. So we've got a 10-year wait there, no, 14-year wait. So, you know, we'd love another Van Zelst relative to come into the business, and so I can start winding back. But yeah, I think that's going to be quite a while yet. Lucky I'm in good health. So I'm going to now sign this video off, and I'm going to have an ale with my son and business partner, and yeah, we're all pumped for next year. We're still going to try and do the videos. People love the videos, and we're still going to, you know, we're not going to shun all the social media, but it's just going to be, yeah, we're just got to be making sure that, yeah, it's all at the right time, put it that way. So, alrighty, so it's New Year's Eve tomorrow night. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm working tomorrow, and I'm probably have New Year's Day off. Possibly, might not too. Might be down here New Year's Day, like kicking off the fresh new year. So yeah, we've got some exciting projects come up. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. We're going to sign out now, I think. Yeah. Okay, Andrew doesn't like being on the video, so if you work that out now, you know, although some of the video repair videos that Andrew's done are our highest rating videos, so go figure, you know, where he's just showing the process of doing stuff on the cars. So yeah, maybe you want to see more of that and less of my mug talking. So let us know in the comments. What do they say? Like, share and subscribe. Tell your aunts, tell your uncles. So VW Life. Right, so you need to be subscribed to VW Life. Watch there. I'm still determined to do the Australian version of them. I'm just rounding up the right people for the job. Who else is a good one, Andrew? Who else? Ginger Billy. If you need a laugh in your life, get a bit of Ginger Billy. And you laugh at people like Ginger Billy, but there's people around here that live in this area that are just like him. Urban Monkey, if you like a bit of UK couple, don't have children, love to party, but in the VW scene, they're big on their T4s through to T6s in the UK and camping out of them. They have some really good shows in the UK. D-Mop, of course, Nikos, you got to look after the locals like that. Home built. Oh, home built by Jeff. Come on, you got to see what he's up to. We love a bit of fun facts by Mrs. Jeff, so that's always a highlight. yeah. So. Rich rebuilds, usual. Yeah, I'm just trying to give you some recommendations to improve your YouTube viewing. Come on, we watch some. Oh, yeah. When it's ready for chill time, right? Let's talk about chill time. I'm going to be making a video real soon. I'm actually borrowing someone's car, old mate, to make this video.